So I want to start by just hearing for anyone that had a conversation this week using appreciative inquiry. I caught up with my uncle who has Parkinson's, and the guy is an eternal optimist. And anyways, I asked him if we could go through this exercise and basically look for bright spots. It was a really fascinating conversation because without getting too into it, he is a lifetime coin collector and ended up telling me just about the things that he's learned about history because of his love of collecting coins and all these people that he's met. And just ended up really being a fruitful conversation. But I'm always interested where conversations go once you start asking those big questions. Anyone else?
Well, I had a conversation this week.
Well, we have a short agenda for you today. As we talked about previously, Thursdays are really meant to be work time. And so future Thursdays as well, if you do have interviews or meetings scheduled, we will be opening up breakout rooms for essentially the duration of class. And then you can just be popping back into the main room on Thursdays as you have questions. And then each of your coaches, Greg Lee and myself, will be making sure to hop in and out. I do want to stop screen sharing for a sec and put in the chat bar. Impact Hub does have a number of events coming up, and the fact that several of them I felt like were related to both the value proposition canvas and the business model canvas that we're going to be talking about in the next few weeks might be of interest. Also want to make sure here in our given time, are there any student events or updates we should know about? All right. Well, with that, once again, just want to make sure being very clear about upcoming assignments. So we have the individual, those research presentations. If you have any questions, I put in the email, feel free to either check in one-on-one or, hang back, ask a question. We were getting some questions about the upcoming individual market research for your service learning project. And we are going to push that back by a week. So you'll now see that on Canvas, and that will really allow time as we'll plan to introduce the concepts of utilizing the business model canvas and the value proposition canvas. I'll really briefly introduce it today. But the idea is once you've actually started collecting market research, that we'll be able to take those learnings and start applying it with these tools. We'll also go through examples of putting together your project plan. And so as you're gathering research, I think it's really important to start really articulating what are going to be the deliverables and then those key milestones that you're working on throughout the semester. Also, with regards to project updates, that'll be a written portion. There's no presentation related to it, but I will be coming around as you're in breakout rooms today to just essentially make sure everyone is signed up for a particular date. And so as you can see here, this goes through kind of like the exact, rubric or what's included as part of that assignment. But what I would note is that each student is essentially signing up for one date. So as we have many groups that are just 3 students, you would be, say, taking 318, no one would be giving an update. You'd just be having someone give an update on the 11th, then the 25th, then the 1st of April. If you have any questions about any of that, definitely let me know. Without going on a rant, I would say I tend to focus a lot of conversation in this class on the learning. And I think it's really fascinating if you look historically at education and schools, specifically college, that we've really parsed out grades from learning. And historically, when you graduated or you had a master's, it was that you had a mastery of a particular skill. And it was only as time went on, we needed to say, well, did you understand various concepts? And so we started giving grades. And then we needed to understand within those concepts, what was your mastery of that concept? And so we had grades within a class. And I feel like more and more we focus too much on a number versus the learning, but that's just me. But with regards to the value proposition canvas, this is going to be a tool that we're going to use more in the coming weeks. And really what this is focused is, as you're taking in information from the organization, it's starting to articulate what is the value proposition that the organization's really delivering to its customer. And so it's first understanding who is that particular customer segment, and understanding, who is the ideal client. From there, we want to start to understand what are essentially the benefits that the organization's doing. Otherwise, we refer to those as the gains. And then understanding essentially what are the pains that this organization's able to remove. How is it often within social entrepreneurship, as Greg talked about as well, is it's about changing the equilibrium, that there's a disequilibrium within that particular marketplace. And so we'll use this tool. This is included as your text as well. I can send links so you can also find this online. But it's going to be something that we'll continue to talk about throughout the semester as a way of understanding the value our organizations are bringing, are enhancing the gains, really removing those pains, and understanding what are those key activities or the customer jobs that they're creating. With that, I will open up each of the breakout rooms. And then I also want to say that for the question of the day and on Tuesday, we're going to have a very special guest speaker. So Joe Holder is a really unique individual. He actually, if you're familiar with Masterclass, most recently created a masterclass on really holistic living, personal health and wellness, but really works at the intersection of social impact and health and wellness, all towards collective impact. And so excited for him to be here on Tuesday. There's an article I would recommend you reading on intergenerational health, and come ready to ask questions. So Greg, myself, and Leah will be here if you have any questions. Otherwise, I will open the breakout rooms. And for anyone that's having trouble assigning yourself into your project room, I can be doing that as well in the coming minutes.